Yo, yo. Mic check one, two. What is this?
Recording in progress.
Sure the fuck is. Just in case. Where's my chat at? I can't see. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Welcome to From Hustle to Hollywood. You know who I am, man. Mr. SOE. SOE Cash Cow, Acquired Taste Media. Today, should be having a special guest slide in here in a minute. Almighty M80. He's an A&R in the industry. Up there he is right there. M80, what's going on, bro? Can you hear me? Okay, I see you got your mic off. M80, what's going on, bro?
Wait a minute. All right, there we go. Yeah.
You good?
Super good. Look at you with your background.
Man, listen. A little something, man. I'm on the West Coast.
It's almost like we're in the same thing. Hey, what's with you?
West Coast, man. I had to throw my Nipsey shirt on today, man. You know, representing, because that's where you are on the West Coast.
Oh, here I am. All right.
How you doing, man?
I'm today fantastic. Killing it. That's almost the same A from the Almighty Second Coming album right behind your head.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, very similar.
All right, bet. Well, since we're already talking about the Almighty M80, AR extraordinaire, business mogul, the name Almighty M80 carries a lot of weight. So can you tell us the story behind the name and what it represents for you personally and professionally?
Sure. Okay, so M80 is my name, okay? When I started rapping, I went by M&M. Those are my initials, M&M, Matthew Nathaniel Markov. My older brother quickly let me know, like a month or two into my rap career, that there was an M&M spelled with an E that was coming out of Detroit. Now, we lived in Toledo. We were a hop, skip, and a jump away. And the house I was born in, literally, if you walked like 30 paces in my backyard, you were essentially in Michigan. So that's how close, Toledo and Detroit were to one another at that time. I started rapping when I was in 7th grade and didn't put any materials, just freestyles and stuff. I started releasing materials when I was in high school, when I moved to Indianapolis about 3 years later. I had my first cassette tapes come out and stuff. But I was driving home from swim practice one day with my friend Justin, and Justin, we didn't have an answer to this name crisis. I was going by Markov for a couple of years. I went by Sir Slick Sack, which was my pager code.
Damn.
767 SSS. So I had a couple records as Sir Slick Sack, which was very humorous, and whatever. I could still be that guy.
That's a dope name. That's not a bad name, bro.
Pim Nuts is very close to a Sir Slick Stack. So Justin's like, you should be M1000. I'm like, you know what? That's dumb as shit, but let's work on this. So we're sitting going back and forth, and I'm like, M80, that's the name. And he's like, why M80? I was like, it's a type of explosive. You meet me, you hear me, whatever it is, it leaves a protruding impact. You won't forget it. And I hope to leave said impact in the game. So an M80 is indicative of the explosive, and that's it. Almighty M80. Almighty is my crew that's under the Wu-Tang umbrella, the Killer Bee family of groups, like your Killer Armies, your Sons of Mans, your Deadly Venoms, your Grave Diggers, so on and so forth. So Almighty falls into the Wu-Tang family tree. And I launched Almighty after the success of records I'd A&R'd, or did A&R work for, between A&R and A&R administration on Wu-Tang Meets Indie Culture, GZA's Pro Tools album, Bronze Desert, Great Migration, Wiseman Approaching. And the first Almighty lineup was me, Killer Priest, Bronze Nazareth, C-Ray's Walls, 5 Star, and Sun One, with features galore like Cannabis, Keith Murray, Planet Asia, War Cloud, 60-Second Assassin, Timbo King, so on and so forth. And then we did a second Almighty album in 2013 where it's my brainchild. I'm at the helm of it. So we swapped the lineup, and, Cannabis joined as a group member, Capadonna joined as a group member, Planet Asia as a group member, And the consistence were me and Bronze, and a whole new set of features like Corrupt, Vinny Paz, Strategy Gaddafi, Master Killer, and Busta Rhymes, much, much more. Maybe one day there'll be a third installment of the Almighty, and maybe one day there'll be another M80 album, but M80 is me, Almighty's my crew, hence Almighty M80.
Fire, man. That's what's up. And are the M80 albums on Spotify and stuff right now, or no?
There are 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe more. I think the 11th Hour, which is my like compilation record of all the collabs and stuff, that's on there. I believe Hymn Psalms and Street Songs might be on there, which is like my 2007 album. The Toledo EP is my album under the moniker Glass City, Homegrown, Internationally Known, is on streaming, and both the Almighty albums, Almighty Original Sin and Almighty The Second Coming, are. My first like 3 or 4 albums are not. Maybe one day I'll put them on there. I just never did. Because when I started rapping and like selling physicals and stuff like that, streaming wasn't a thing. iTunes wasn't a thing. I remember in the year 2000, my freshman year in college, when like some of my songs from one of my mixtapes in high school made it on a Napster, and people were like, "You made it, dude!" Like, because now you could be heard
Right.
like on a world scale. You could tell anyone in any country or whatever, go on Napster and even for free listen to my shit, and that helped a lot of artists like me. I wasn't a multi-million-dollar corporation like Metallica or like a Snoop Dogg or whatever. So it's like that was big for me. Like I didn't mind telling people you can go listen to me for free, become a fan, and maybe those fans will then grow to buy product in time, which is like a big application to a lot of the things I do in business and my life, whether it's as an artist or an A&R. But those specific records, at least 4 or 5, whatever, are definitely on streaming services, and I still get monthly checks. And hey.
Hey, yeah. That's what's up. Oh, I'm saying that because I'm definitely got to go back and check you out, see what you got for me.
Have you ever had this? This is delicious.
No,
Hennessy
what is that?
Pure White.
Oh yeah, the Hennessy Pure White. Yeah, I've had that. I think I was on a cruise or something when I first had something like that, like off of
I bought 10 bottles of it the other day.
You like it that much, huh?
10. It is fantastic.
It is smooth. It is a nice little smooth taste. So yeah. All right, so you've been instrumental in bridging underground legends with new age talent, the 38 Specials and the Benny the Butchers, the Conways, and things of that nature, as well as the Tech Nines, things like that. How do you approach curating collaborations that feel authentic?
The gut feeling just has to be there, because you can't convince someone like a Rakim to do anything for money. The legacy of Rakim will forever outweigh a check. That's why it took 4 years for me to get God's Network Rebirth done. Like, as persistent as I was with wanting to do the record, there was no amount of money I could have offered Ra that would have made him want to do it if he did not want to do it. It literally took like me buying the Aston Martin that was supposed to be for me, for him to be like, now, if you give me that car, we could talk about this. And I'm like, bro, whatever the fuck you need. Like, I figured he keeps up to date on all the cars I get and stuff, like the Lambo and the Bentley and the Rolls Royce and all that shit, the Maybachs. He loves the Maybachs. But like, I figured if we really ever made like that Super Crew album, he'd probably want the Rolls Royce. Like, why not?
Definitely.
Think about it like this. When you have the money, yeah, you can go buy whatever you want. But you ever been gifted an Aston Martin? You ever been gifted a Rolls Royce? That's a whole different playing field right there. Like, otherwise, yeah, you could take the money and go buy one, maybe, but it doesn't feel the same. So it's like, it's not just my gut in putting together like these collaborations and these ideas to make records and stuff, but also it's like the artist has to have that same kind of like feel, the same love. So it's like, yeah, I've come up with collaborative ideas that just were not well received and therefore, for whatever reason, didn't happen. The majority of my ideas are my ideas. The majority of like the production I pick and how I choose to market and advertise and really promote the records is all above board and all like, yes, I fuck with the idea. I'm following your vision. Handle it. Like, I have nothing to do with the upcoming Ghostface Supreme Clientele 2 album, but even Ghost hit me the other day. Like, what did you do so well on the Lost Tapes? And what did you do so well on Rakim's album that I should take into consideration and like alert the people at Mass Appeal? These are the things that should happen. I'm like, give me a few days. I'll put a list together for you. And I'm extremely grateful for someone of Ghostface's stature to reach out to me and acknowledge, like, you know, it's not like he did the most to market and promote the record,
Right.
but Rakim really went above and beyond for God's Network. He did like 90% of the interviews we turned over, radio drops, that kind of stuff. It's like he was really that's when you're going to get your best results. When I'm coming in from a label standpoint or an A&R standpoint or executive standpoint to help you really excel the record, and you as the artist are with me, we're in tune together, you are not shying away from the responsibility of making your shit go. A lot of artists are afraid to really give it 100% of their attention to back their own product in the event that it quote unquote fails or tanks or flops. Then they feel like if they don't promote, they can use that as an excuse. Well, I didn't really back it.
Right.
Like, that should never even be a thought in the artist's head. Anything bearing your name that you like willingly did for money or for whatever, you should always back. Okay? Because think about it like this: you're an artist, a major artist, and you've grown up your whole life, and you've been in the system where you've had the machine to back you and your product. Then you see all the success these independent artists are having. So you want to go independent. Now, essentially, you are having to learn what it takes to maneuver from just being the artist to artist and label. Because that's, if you're an independent artist, you wear multiple hats. You cannot just be the artist. It will not work out for you. I guarantee you. I don't give a fuck who your name is. Okay? So the artist then has to really learn, what all did the label do that made me popular, to make me go? What kind of money did they invest and where? In the event they fail at the independent level, like their record they might release independently doesn't hit the mark, they really will struggle the rest of their lives trying to get back to a major platform. They might be like, yo, I tried the independent, it wasn't for me, I want to be back on a major. But the major is only going to look at the performance of your last record. So if the last record was the independent record and failed, you are never going to see the same kind of budget. You're never going to see the same kind of tour or tour support. You're never going to see the same kind of radio promo, marketing, press promo, the whole nine. So it's very important that the artist remembers it's so much deeper than just rap or rapping. It is about what all you're bringing to the table to make your product pop.
Oh, dope. That was a gem right there, man. That was a jewel
And
right
that's
there,
why the
bro.
people fuck.
I see. I appreciate that. So,
Thank you, bud.
with you working with iconic names like Rakim, Ghostface, Killer Priest, Cannabis, Busta, what's something fans don't see behind the scenes of those legendary projects?
You know, that's why I put a lot into like my IG stories and stuff. That's why I do my weekly, my A&R clinics, like giving free game and stuff, because it is so much more. Like, an A&R could just be someone that loves the culture and has a good ear. It takes an insane work ethic. It takes, the level of education. I mean, I went, from high school to college to law school. I have as thick of skin as you can get. I mean, I'm definitely not the most liked person in the world. And a lot of it I attribute to I'm living the dreams of many, especially like Caucasian rap fans. Come on, now if everyone was being honest, you could say, yes, we don't like M80 because he's essentially living my dream. It has nothing to do with who I am as a person or what I did in my rap career or what I've done in my executive career and the records I put out. It's like, I want to be him, but God only gives so many jobs to the most deserving people. Right. So therefore, I'm like, can you say you've outworked me? If you can say that, then perhaps maybe you should, if you can't be me, then maybe I should have you working with me. I'd be a fool to not want people that have the same drive, energy, experience, passion, follow through. That's why, I have people that work for me on commission basis and stuff like that, but I don't have any salaried employees because 90% of what I do, it can only get done by me.
Right.
Otherwise, if something falls through the cracks, you're going to get yelled at but it's really like I got to take the blame.
Right.
Like
It's gonna be you.
say I broker a deal for Snoop, and I mean, look, I had a good thing going where like for like 15 some years, every time I called Dog or his manager, oh, M80's calling. There must be a bag. Because I don't call and just be like, how's the family?
Right.
I'm not one of those people. All right, like, for better or worse, I'm not like a check-in type guy. I just kind of live and, I'll hit you when there's business. And that's how I operate with the majority of my clients, with the exception of like my 5 friends, like your Planet Asias and Crooked Eyes and Corrupts and Chinos, rest in peace. So that being said, like I've had a couple of times recently where it's like I've made the calls and deals have fallen through, but they don't yell at the person that was supposed to have the deal on the table. I'm the one getting yelled at,
of course,
for not fucking like. So it's like I have different protocols with every person, and for better or worse, like I might only call this person when I've already secured the bag for them. I didn't even call them to tell them it's like a potential thing. Because worst case scenario, if I call them and they don't want to do it, I just give the money back. No harm, no foul. Hey, man, it's not going to happen. But you got to operate different with each of these artists. So it's like you don't get to see how I have to have 200 plus different mentalities to deal with 200 plus different personalities. And that's like the craziest shit about it. The best example I can give you is like the movie War Dogs, where that's like Jonah Hill and the other dude.
Yeah,
and
great
like
movie.
Jonah Hill. What's that?
I said great movie.
It is. And I recommend people watch it all the time, especially people in my industry. It's great because Jonah Hill said, look, you don't have to sacrifice who you are at the end of the day, but please note in a business equation, especially when you're soliciting business, like you want the money from someone else, or you want to, like, whatever business you're dot connecting helps you benefit, like financially, professionally, whatever it is. That person has to be the most important. Those people have to be the most important. So play to the strengths of those people. It doesn't make you fake. It makes you actually more intelligent for acknowledging the fact that when I'm dealing with a Snoop Dogg or a Tech Nine or a Wu-Tang Clan, it doesn't matter how great I am at my job. What makes you happy? What makes you want to continue to have me around, and why? And that's all that matters. And I've literally mastered that shit. So it's like I know I'm only as worthy as my present deal, what I'm bringing to the table in the future. The past is the past. I worked with a few artists that you could consider one-hit wonders throughout the course of their careers. And I looked at that, and remember, the majority of my clients are my elders. So I told myself, like, I don't want to be a one-hit wonder, especially in business. So I want to be a one-hit wonder 100,000 times over. Right. So when I go back and look at all the, like, wow shit I did in my life, I got 100,000 plus experiences that would equate to your one-hit record. Follow me?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's
sponsored by Pure White Hennessy. Hello.
Wow. All right, and I'm glad that you touched on the A&R in a little bit. So, with everything being digital, how has your strategy changed when it comes to A&R and artist development? And are the algorithms killing the ear test?
Yeah. So artist development has taken on a whole new monster. I get a lot of artists that hit me. They might have the bag ready for me and the whole nine. But when I do, I don't take any bags. Like I've said this time and time again, I even reiterated today in my A&R clinic. Just because you have the money to hire me doesn't mean I can work with you. I always start with the $500 consultation, because even if I choose not to work with you, regardless of you having the money or not, to hire me for full service A&R, for a single task, whatever I offer in my service packet, I have to be able to know, one, that you're willing to put the work in. Two, that you will be financially adept to, again, this is more than just hiring me. You still have to make the records. And three, that you're really built to win in this. I have to be able to answer all those before I can even say, okay, let's do this. And the reason I have to start with the consultation twice now, to the tune of $50,000. I've had artists that I just took the bag from. Then we go to the development question. Okay, do you have a fan base? Or do you just think you're good at rapping and therefore a label should want to sign you? Those deals do not exist anymore. Right. Those were all the deals in the 90s. The most talented artists got the deals. That's how it should have been, because labels cared about the development. They cared about the marketing. They cared about the touring. They were willing to do anything and everything to make sure they were fostering your talent to make you profitable. That doesn't exist anymore. So it's like, do you already have a fan base? If not, are you willing to work the program to build it? So twice now, I've had artists to the tune of 50 grand hire me, and I'll sit down, I'll do the consultation and go over their stats and their metrics and their past works and what they want to accomplish, because everyone has different goals. The majority of the time, the goal is to get a record deal, distribution deal, and go. But I do encounter a lot of clients that just want to keep independent and really build their own system. So I will say, to build your own system, we need to spend the next 2 years developing you, getting Polestar numbers for your touring, getting some BDS numbers for your radio, getting press history behind you, a publicist, and marketers and advertisers and stuff, having a SoundScan history for some EPs, singles. And twice these artists have been like, whoa. That just sounds crazy. That's too much work. I'm not willing to commit to that. Fuck it. Keep the money. I'm like, okay. Literally one time I had an artist and they broke down a budget for me. This is what we'd want to spend over the course of, like, I told them what I'm going to put a program together for you that's going to take 18 months for me to execute. The majority of it is artist development. Okay. You release singles and EPs to help brand you, to gain fans and things of that nature. Otherwise, if you're not an artist with an already established fan base or one that's building, dropping albums is pointless, because if the goal is to get a label deal, you want the label to fund the record. You want to be able to make the debut album to the world that is like everything you could have dreamed of, with an open checkbook if you could. So I remember I put this program together for an artist, 18 months. And I said, here's the 3 things we're going to need to pay for of the 18 months as far as development of projects. But for the next 6 to 9 months, this is what I need you to do for free. That's organic. It costs you nothing. It's just a lot of work. And they said, no. I'm like, what do you mean, no? No, we're not willing to do that. Like, that's so much work. That's so many studio hours. That's like, but again, you have the studio at your disposal. You have the ability to release music as consistently as you want. You have all this back catalog that's never been heard. So then my job's done at that point. If you're not willing to take my advice, and I'm coming from a point of experience of having sold almost 20 million records. If you don't think I'm going to be a benefit to you and you've sold dick, then I'm out. I'm out, because I already know the headache is coming. It's a little headache then and there when you're telling me you don't want to do the free shit that doesn't involve you spending money, which leads me to believe, even though you're setting aside a budget, you're going to become a headache when it comes down to actually having to spend money. I walked. I told the person, go do whatever you want to do. When you fuck it up and realize that perhaps I'm trying to lead you to the promised land, you already paid me. I'll come right back as if nothing happened. But I need you to go fuck up now. I need you to think that you know better than me for some reason. Do that. Then when you come back, I'm not going to shame you, but you better never give me a fucking ounce of lip again moving forward. If I tell you this is what we need to do for free and all it costs you is your time, and you have no fucking fans, but you have talent, all the talent in the world, and I'm a fan, and therefore if I'm a fan, others will be fans, don't fight me on that. Artists, like Crooked Eye has no unreleased music. Like, we're working on 2 albums right now, so he's making new music in real time. But there's artists that I know an artist that has a dozen unreleased albums. What are you doing with them? Well, nothing now because they're dated and blah, blah, blah. That's fucking crazy to think like that. You'd rather the world never hear the shit and make no money than just feel like it's dated. So then use your social media to let people know, hey, I recorded this in 2010. So keep that in mind when you listen to it, blah, blah. Like, so therefore, any critics that are like, oh, this shit sounds mad dated, like, yeah, it's dated. It's 15 years old.
Right.
So I respect the artists that leave nothing on the field. You create art, put the shit out. If you don't like it, save it and retool it. It's out. No, like the artists that are saving up this material aren't doing what they should be doing, unless it's just absolute shit material. Then I get it. But like, if I listen to it and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, here's a great example. We released a posthumous Chino XL album called Map of Bones. Chino completed the whole album in his lifetime. But I had to explain to people he did it for another company. They paid him in full. He finished it, and he never really got back to the company to have the music released. I mean, he wanted to focus on new music works that were pertinent to him, that would provide him finances in the now. We put the album out with the disclaimer, yes, this was recorded in full, exactly how Chino left it from 2008 to 2012. There wasn't a single complaint about it. People were like, this is one of Chino's best works ever. Chino was such a perfectionist, he left 10 plus EPs and albums posthumously. So he left more work in the afterlife than he provided in this lifetime, just like Tupac. Sweet. And I don't know, I never worked with Tupac. I met Pac one time, which was crazy because when I started working with the Outlaws like 5 years ago, I've had the same phone number since I was 16. I'm 43 now. And I'm like, I got Tupac's number. They're like, bro, that was really his last number. Like, that's crazy. And I'm like, because I've always had the same phone.
Damn.
Sure. So it's like, that is the artist element. It is the work. The label doesn't do it all for you. I can only go as hard as you're willing to go to further your career. Yes, having me is a cheat code for sure. Having a record label with resources and money is a cheat code. You still have to work.
Right. You still have to work.
So it's like, that's the difference now. Some of these artists, especially the OGs, the golden era dudes, the veterans, we're so used to having their fucking nuts cradled for them that it's like, damn, you really out here like a fucking kid in the wild. Like, buckle down. So it's not crazy for a Rakim or a Redman or a Ghostface or whoever, Snoop, Corrupt, to come to someone like me for guidance when they need it. I realize there's two kinds of fucking like rich people. A lot of rich people just want people like me around.
Yeah.
To second like what they already wanted to do with their money and their ideas. They don't really want to hear anything but yes. Okay? Mm-hmm. They're not interested in like, oh wow, yeah, like then there's people that genuinely want your guidance and assistance. And like, okay, expert, let's roll with this. Let's see if it works out. I love the people that will take the criticism, take the advice, take the guidance. The rich people I've worked for that are just like, wanted the yes man, that's just a check to me. Like, okay, cool. You want me to like, go fail. Go fail. You don't want my advice. You wanted a yes man. You want someone to make you feel like you're so fucking smart. And a lot of times that's how they feel because they're like, well, I got rich on my own. Then why even go about hiring other people?
Right.
Because you're fucking like lonely. Like I roll dolo all the time. I love me. I'm going to fucking, a heavy metal concert by myself and just be like, having the fucking time of my life, man. I'm super comfortable being me in my skin. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do and not to do. But I do listen to the fans. Like, I do listen to them tell me what kind of records they want made by who and try my best to appease them. Why would I not? They're the ones supporting it and buying it. The Rakim thing was 100% my brainchild. Like, Ra, you've never released it. And that also helped the cause. I didn't just want to make another Rakim record. And but people never knew Rakim as like the super producer he is. He literally produced on some of the biggest records he's ever had to his credit, including Juice Know the Ledge, which is my all-time favorite hip-hop song. It's up there with my, Nas The Message. It's up there with my Jizza Method Man Shadow Boxing. Like, those are literally my top 3 rap songs of all time.
Sheesh, that's what's up. So you've been going in, man. You've been going in. So what I do want to ask you about is mental health. So mental health and burning out are big issues in the creative world. How do you personally stay balanced while managing so many high-level projects?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've definitely neglected my physical health. I pre-COVID, I loved going to the gym. I was in that bitch like 4 or 5 days a week. I loved working out, and I look forward to getting back to that. I know it's something I should be doing. I like from time to time we'll go to therapy sessions. I do like meditation. I love a good like hot stone massage. Like stuff like that can like it's things outside the norm. because otherwise my days, it doesn't matter if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like I do the same shit every day that ends in day. And it's a lot of work. So I think being a new father has helped me balance the work life and like having a home life. I don't really go out as much. We go on shit tons of trips though, but I don't like go out for leisure unless I really have to, like if it's for networking or if it's for some kind of money. Like I'm not in the studio just to be in the studio anymore. I'm not on the tours just to be on tour. I'm not, like that kind of shit. Um, at the end of the day, though, through the good and the bad, I have to remind myself that it's like tomorrow's a new day, tomorrow's a better day. And what is different from me to like an artist that struggles with mental health issues because it's more pertinent for the artist. Okay. I run an A&R firm. It is the first ever A&R firm in the world. And I never wanted to own a record label. And I knew from an early age, like 13 on, that eventually I was going to transition from artist to an executive. I know that there's not going to be a single day of the week that goes by where I'm not making money. How could I not? I literally have access to 200 some clients and I have access to a worldwide amount of people via the web. Somebody's going to want something from one of these artists at any given time, and they're coming to me as a resource to do it. So for me, and this might be sad to the listener at home, I combat depression by staying active and making money. But when people don't make money, when they're creatives and they're not being active in their art, when they're not active in the promotion of the art and the preservation of their art, in turning their art into financial gain, that's when shit takes a turn for the worse. And it doesn't matter how many people try to talk you off the ledge. It does not matter what kind of support system you have and how many people love you and would want to provide aid to you. That's a decision where only you can decide for yourself, like, hey, my best days are behind me. I don't feel like I have anything positive to offer to the world anymore, and therefore life might not be worth living. For someone like me, regardless if I had a shit streak of work, if I had a shit streak in business, if I my family situation deteriorated, I think the silver lining for me is that I'm a father. And this is just me speaking for me. Like I can't speak for anyone else. Like everyone's mental is different for a reason. But, I've already taken all the necessary steps to ensure that my now 3-year-old daughter is straight for life. Like I'm one of those that started the college fund early, made sure she was working for Holy Toledo, like as an employee and like benefiting from all the things she should be. And it's like, I look back and maybe these things weren't in place when my parents had me or my brother. But it's like now that this is the reality we live in, I'm making sure that my daughter is my pride and joy. And therefore, I'm very happy with my home situation. And my wife gives me the freedom to do what the fuck I got to do to really better my business situation and my home situation. And I think a lot of people struggle with the mental health situation because they're not doing things they love to do. Like I run my business. You can't fire me. You can't blackball me. You can't anything me. 99% of people don't have the same situation as me. You are reporting to a superior. You can be hired and fired and twisted and turned at the drop of a dime, and you really have no control over how your life's going to twist and turn. So, to all those people, please keep fighting the good fight. And I can assure you that there's no situation in the world where you're better off dead than not with us, bringing joy to the world.
Oh man, that's great, man. That was heartfelt, bro. I really appreciate that, man. And honestly, I agree with you 100%, man. When it comes to our kid, well, I know, just like you said, when it comes to my kids, that's the most joyful thing in the world to me. Like, there's no way I can be depressed. You know what I'm saying? On that my kid is taken care of. They good. They're safe. They're happy. You know what I mean? So, no, I agree with you 100% as well. As well as, like you said, even going out and getting some therapy from time to time and speaking to somebody about certain things. That's always a good idea as well. So, no, I agree with you 100% with that. So
I went and saw a medium for the first time.
I've seen a medium too, man. How did you like? How was yours?
I it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
It was mind blowing because I went to the medium. Oh, this is gonna just break me down, bro. I went to the medium so I could speak to Chino,
Oh
and
man.
when I got there and got situated, the medium said like someone had entered the room, but it wasn't she. It was my grandma. My grandma talked to me for like the first 10, 15 minutes, and then Chino knew my grandma. I mean, they had met. They talk on the phone from time to time. Like, like my grandma, like anytime I'd bring an artist through Toledo, she got to meet him, and she was like the talk of her hair salon and like all her like old friends, And my grandma brought Chino to the room, and well, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Grandma let me know that she's been watching me and looking after me, and that there was others that were with her that since their passing, like were protecting me. And then brought Chino to the room, and he just told me like, "Don't stop doing what you're doing. Like you, through the adversity, through like the things with my family, like you're doing everything I expect you to do." And after that, I didn't like none of the shit bothered me after that. I wholeheartedly believe that this was Chino talking to me through this medium, and there was not an ounce of doubt about it. So, and the past couple months with all that Chino shit with the family has like cool. I mean, when I say the family, I need people at home to understand the distinction. Like, there was never a time where his two youngest daughters weren't with me. There was a moment where they believed like their oldest sister was going to do right by them, and then it turned out I was right. So that was a slap in the face, like to them. Like, damn, M80 somehow knows like our family situation better than like we did. And like, but cool. Like, I don't have to fight anyone about it anymore. Like, I helped get some of these records out that Chino left in his lifetime. I think the oldest daughter now and their side of the things has a new Chino record they're planning to drop. But I know personally it's not a real album. Like, the records I worked on, like Darkness in Our Colors and Map of Bones and the EP and the project with Deezy and that stuff, God's Carpenter 2, the album with Chino and Cannabis, these were real records. Like, what they're doing, and I'm very like leery about it, is making a Chino album. Like, here's these verses, and we're gonna go get these features, and it's like I'm not interested in doing that. So and I'll buy it. I'll go buy the record. Like, they shit talk the hell out of all the records I put out. Like, this is unauthorized, and Chino didn't want this to come out. Like, Chino fucking did, in fact, want all this shit to come out and left instructions, on how to and our ideas he had for marketing and so on and so forth. Shot a music video, like shot these videos, and like you can't tell me he did this to not get the shit out, and a million other things. But like, yeah, so it's like I'm not gonna be like them. After leaving the medium and listening to Chino tell me everything he told me, it's like I did everything I have to do. I brokered a deal the other week for Rakim that I worked a car in for Chino's youngest daughter in the deal. Like, she's about to be 16. Like, you can't tell me I'm not my brother's keeper.
That's dope, bro. That's real dope.
That shit doesn't exist anymore. People give a fuck about you a little bit when you're here. You're going. Hey, I gotta do something real quick. Someone's touching one of my cars. Hold on. Hold on.
They ain't touching the Rolls Royce, is they?
1 sec. That's so funny. I got cameras galore and shit, but people stop by and like take a picture with the Lamborghini and the Rolls Royce. They might put their hand on it, and that shit's got like a hair trigger. So it's like someone puts a hand on one of my cars, the alarm goes off.
Right.
And then I wave to him from the window. I see you.
I see you, man. Take your picture and go home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, dude, that like, like, I don't have to sell the Lamborghini, but I thought it'd be a good idea to help fund whatever Rakim wants to do regarding his next project, the Super Crew, or anything he wants to do. Really, is whatever Rakim wants to do, I'm in. But yeah, every day when I take that shit on the road, I get like, oh, can I take a picture with your car? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like 50 times.
Yeah, that Lambo is nice for sure. That Lambo is
like
nice.
the Killer Cam one.
The Lambo is nice.
Minus the bullet holes.
Knock knock. All right,
Yes.
so speaking of the super group, it was supposed to be Rakim, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, and Cool G Rap. And I had seen you
Yes.
said something about All Hip Hop had posted something about it before you was even able to post anything about it for real.
I made a social media post saying that I want to sell my car in hopes of having a deposit to make this record that is just an idea in my head. So Chuck Creekmore had hit me like, have you talked to any of the artists about this? I said, no, I don't have to. Like, one, I work with Rakim directly. So if I'm going to talk to anyone, the first person I'm going to talk to is Rakim. Two, I haven't sold the damn car yet. And I told him, I'm like, I don't want to come out of pocket anything. Like, if I can get them going, like this, okay, let me explain how this works. For something like that with those names, even if I didn't have a fucking lick of music recorded, I could shop the idea of the project and get the bag and secure a deal. These people all have histories, they're all legends, blah, 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 blah. They're not new jack artists. But if I took a deposit and had them make, say, 2 or 3 songs together and then like filmed a little trailer, then I got what I need to shop the deal to Netflix. Then I got the audio to shop the deal to any label. And then boom, then that's how the rest of the money comes together from all my ideas. And then the merchandising deal, the touring deal. But the media essentially killed that idea before it even took off. Like, everyone is jaded to it now.
I thought that was a dope ass idea,
Like,
man.
Rakim was like, fuck that shit. Like, it's an amazing idea. And the crazy shit is I came up with Almighty 2 the exact same way. I just was literally chill. Like, for Almighty 2, I was at Steak and Shake in Indianapolis having a meal. And I was like, these are going to be the new members of Almighty. These are going to be the features. And I just mapped it out. And literally exactly how I wrote it is the album you got. There's not one name I changed. Yeah. So, like, I told when I did an interview for Rock the Bells, I was like, unless Rakim says he doesn't want to do this, I'm not. That's the only person who can tell me. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I can call all these people and convince them of this idea and tell them I can pay them X up front just to commit, and they will. So I saw Big Daddy Kane backstage at Madison Square Garden for the Wu-Tang show, and I'm like, he's met me 3 or 4 times. Got him on the Ghostface album. We've been on airplanes. We sat next to each other on an airplane one time, leaving, I think, New York, going to the Carolinas or something, or vice versa. And he's like, oh, you're the reason I've been getting all these press mentions. And I'm like, unintentionally, yeah. Because I didn't talk to any fucking press. I don't know where the story came from about, like Slick Rick might be a part of it. I mean, that'd be cool, but that was not in my idea. It wasn't part of the dream. So the point was, when they ran with the story saying, like, well, KRS-One said he doesn't know anything about this, and therefore it's not happening, I'm like, you don't get it. I'm the only person who can say it's not happening. Say KRS-One, say I want KRS-One in the vision, and he doesn't want to do it, okay? Insert Slick Rick. Say, like, I'm in charge of the moving parts. So maybe it won't be the album that I put in my Instagram post, but I can still make a supergroup album with 4 great MCs. I mean, I made a Horseman. I made the Almighty. How the fuck are you going to tell me I can't do this? I gave you the first new Rakim album. That's what I was trying to impress upon them. And they're like, you're going about it in a very disgusting way. And I'm like, no, your fucking rumor page is disgusting because Chuck personally contacted me. I was like, have you hit any of these people? And I'm like, no. So why would you run with a story that was like, oh, we talked to KRS-One and he said no? Like, bro, this takes nothing away from KRS-One. But in that hierarchy of those 4, he's number 4 for me.
Right.
If you want to break down a composite of M80, I'm Rakim and G-Rap all day. And Kane's my 3rd. So it's like, if I tell myself, what if I just made an album with Rakim and G-Rap, and instead of 2 other fucking notables, just filled in a feature, like I had a 3rd famous on every joint?
That'd be fire.
Like, you're gonna say, you don't want to hear Nas and Method Man and Kane and and Pharoah Monch. No, you're gonna be like, I mean, he's a fucking genius.
Rakim and Cool G Rap.
And not to be like on some Kanye shit, because that's not what this is at all. Like, you can't tell me what's going to happen and not.
Right.
Rakim, if he is my primary go-to dude, hey, I want to be part of anything and everything you want to do. If he just says, hey, it's not in the cards for me right now, then guess what? Back burner it goes. I'd rather sell the Lambo, be like, I sold it. What do you want to do right now? Maybe he needs me for something. Maybe he doesn't. Clearly became the legend he is without me in his life. I'm happy to be aboard the yacht. Okay. His manager does a good job of reminding me of my position all the time.
Well,
Don't
Rakim
fuck it
been,
up, M80.
but I ain't gonna lie, Rakim been going
Yeah.
hard since y'all dropped. So kudos on that, man. Y'all been going hard for sure, for sure.
That's what I tell people. My job, whether you respect the record or not, I put the battery in his back. The album performed well enough. Now Rakim has a SoundScan history, just like I would tell a new artist. We're going to develop you. We're going to build this. Rakim's last SoundScan history was 07 or 08 or some shit, or 09, somewhere in that 3-year realm. That was the Seventh Seal album. Now he has a respectable SoundScan history again. We had a Grammy nomination. We had a consideration. It didn't make it to the last phase. We got beat out by Common and Pete Rock. Otherwise, I would have had 2 Grammy noms. My other one was DMX, Jay-Z, and Nas. And we did plenty of tour dates, like spot dates and stuff like that. Rakim now added Be Ill. When he finishes a show, Be Ill is the closer. Like, that's now a part of the history. And it's put Rakim in a situation where he can walk into any label and they can see a SoundScan history that is relevant to the past 365 days versus 15 plus years ago. And Rakim understands that. His management understands it. I understand it. And that's the beauty of it all. So literally anything Ra wants to do, he could go in and ask for, I want $500,000. I want $1 million. I want $3 million, whatever it is, and provide justification. Any bag he wants to ask for, whatever he's willing to provide, like, I'm going to do this album, like a 360 deal, this album with this tour, with this multimedia component, cool. Well, it's up to the label's job now to break down the numbers and see if that makes sense or not.
Dope. And what I was gonna say was, like I said, Rakim has been everywhere since y'all dropped. I've been seeing him on a lot of different blogs, a lot of different pages, and like you said, it's kind of crazy that instead of them posting just promoting Rakim and what's going on with that project, they choose to promote some he said she said stuff. So that lets you know though that you making noise, because the media is only gonna talk about you if you're out there making noise. So that lets you know that Rakim out here doing his thing, M80's out here doing his thing, and that's why they tapping in, because now they trying to see, all right, well, what can we say negative about him? You know what I'm saying? Because that's unfortunately how the media seems to work.
And like, why? Why would you do that? Like
just
you want people like me to exist in the realm, to be able to create these records, because again, back to another thing labels aren't doing. Unless you're a major artist, okay? No label is coming to be like, I want to do a Rakim album. Here's $500,000. Now go make it. But they will sign you if you're already actively creating the shit, okay? So those deals don't exist anymore where it's like, we just want to have you on our label. To any artist. But artists can still actively seek record deals, distribution deals when they're actively making the product and providing it to them, at least when it's in a 50% completed state. Like I said, even an example, I could sell the Lambo, at least make a couple songs, at least get a little trailer going of the like potentially like a visual idea that I had to shop to Netflix or a Hulu or whatever, and then accept the bigger bags. That's the number that makes all the artists happy. The little me selling the Lambo money, that might put 25 G's in each of their pockets. Cool, that's something to start to get you to sign off on some documents. And then we determine how we're going to break down the millions. Because the millions are guaranteed. So, to each his own. But it's like, don't shoot down my idea without at least talking to me first. Because you don't know where my mind's at. Like, I thought I did an okay job explaining to Chuck, and Chuck didn't run that story. So, Chuck, all the love in the world to you, man. My whole point is, like, you got these staffers. And by the way, I could not find anyone who knew the guy who wrote this story. I mean, I couldn't find a Twitter page, an Instagram page, a phone number, nothing. Because my people would have been all over it. Someone told me he lived in Carolina while I was in Carolina. And I'm like, come see me, bro. Like, on some non-funny shit. Like, let's talk this out. Like, where do you get off? Like, because you don't know me at all, and I don't know who the fuck you are at all. But that's the point. Like, you want people like me to exist that still have a passion for hip hop, real hip hop,
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
making albums, providing good quality tours. Like, come on, if it was up to me, Wu Tang's last tour would be 20 years from now, not this year. That
And
kind of shit.
and you know what? And before I let you go, I got two more questions before I let you go.
I'll take all the time you need, buddy.
And we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you
Thank
and
you.
all the information that you got and all the things that you've done and accomplished, putting out all this good music for us. So, since you were speaking about the labels and things of that nature and how the labels aren't signing people anymore, it made me think about something. And I actually got this idea because I actually seen you post. You actually had posted something like this as well on your page. So I was watching While I was watching Hitmaker, and he was on $1 million worth of game, and he said
Hitmaker, like Tony from the company Hitmaker?
Hitmaker, the Hitmaker, like his name is Hitmaker. I don't know what his.
Oh, Young Berg?
Yeah, Young Bird. Yep, Young Bird. Hitmaker. Yeah, Young Bird. Yeah, Hitmaker. So, he was on $1 million worth of game. Shout out Hitmaker. Shout out William Gillian Wallow, and they said something. And the Mizza actually said it as well. Shout out to Mizza.
Okay.
And like I said, you actually said something too. So you said, well, the question is, these labels are behind these streaming sites. That's what everybody's saying, is that the labels are behind the streaming sites. So, with that being said, I'm thinking to myself, I say, I wonder is anything like that in the contracts or the guidelines when we sign up with these distribution companies? Because in my opinion, if you're saying that Universal owns Spotify and Universal is getting money off the streams, then wouldn't that mean that every artist that's on Spotify is signed to Universal?
I don't. Okay, so no, Spotify is definitely an independent company, but again, each of the labels, the major labels, have like an equity stake in there. That was, in fact, I think they even touch upon that a little in the movie, the Spotify movie that's on Netflix, like a 5 or 6 part series. It's really a good watch. Um,
I didn't know they had a, so Spotify, they got a Netflix documentary on Spotify. Okay, I'm at
it's
to check.
it's not like a documentary. It's like a fucking like a mini series kind of thing where they have like actors playing the people,
Okay, I'm gonna
but
check
it's
that out.
great.
I'm
It's
gonna check
great.
it out.
It starts out definitely with all the labels being very anti-streaming, and then having no choice but to essentially like come to terms with it, and it approaches it from every perspective, like the label perspective, the artist perspective. Please watch it. It's 5 or 6 parts. It came out I think 2 years ago. But the artist part was the best to watch because all the artists are infuriated. Like the guys in court are in front of the Senate or the Judiciary Committee talking about being a billionaire, and then you got artists testifying like I made like $18 last month. Like
Right.
the fuck. It's a jaded system for sure. But no, so all the labels have like a little equity stake, but they don't, so what you're saying isn't true. Like there's Universal doesn't own Spotify, so therefore every artist that's on Spotify is essentially an artist of Universal. But
I was just thinking. That was just an idea I
you
had.
can choose to not be a part of the program. Like like artists like for instance, like Rock Marciano is a good example. He will sell the digital folders and physicals and stuff of his albums on like his own website he created. So he has the D2C direct to consumer, and then maybe 2 3 weeks later put on Spotify. But it's
Right.
like you're one of the best fans. It's like you have a patronage, like a perk. How they do that shit. Like you have the first right of review, you have first access. Is what I meant to say. Um, it's yes, streaming is rough. If you are an artist that has no fan base to support some kind of physical product, a CD, a vinyl, a cassette, a T-shirt, or whatever it is, it makes it even more rough because that is essentially your only source of revenue. I work with a lot of artists that are, thank God, fortunate enough that they still have that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so therefore, when you're selling physical product, especially when you're doing it direct to consumer, that is money you touch in real time. You can get paid daily, weekly, whatever. Like the records with Chino XL, I make sure his family gets accountings every Friday. I can't pull the money. You can pull it as you need it. Otherwise, you're just going to keep getting those reports every Friday and see it stack up. Um, Without that component, though, you have to wait monthly, quarterly, biannually just to get money.
So the smart.
And that's rough. That's
So
rough.
it's all about. So it's definitely all about having a product to sell with your merch.
Yeah.
I mean, with your
And that's
music.
like I touched upon this day in my clinic as well. For artists that are in the building fan base process, the goal is to get up to 100 fans at first. I'm talking about 100 people that will actually buy product. But you don't have to have money and spend money on inventory. Like there are sites where you can, say you have a graphic designer, make 2 or 3 t-shirt designs, hood designs, hat designs, sell those. Okay. Find a company that will stock the image so you could promote the page. Someone goes and orders a t-shirt. You say, hey, from each t-shirt sale, I get $9. But they're going to sell it for 30. But they're going to provide the t-shirt. They're going to press the t-shirt. They're going to ship the t-shirt. They're doing everything for you. You provide the image. You get a little fraction of that. Kunaki.com, it's not the greatest quality in the world, but someone could order a CD, and they'll make 1 CD and ship it to you. 1 vinyl and ship it to you. So if you can spend $0 up front and potentially make an extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 for like a single drop or an EP drop, yeah, that's good business. That's thinking forward and moving in the right direction.
Cool. So, like I said, I appreciate your time, man, once again. And before I let you go, and you've been giving me advice all through this conversation. But one last thing, what advice would you give to a hungry young producer or rapper trying to get on your radar in today's industry's climate?
That wants to get on my radar.
On your radar.
I don't know if that's the world's best question because I'm for hire. So the answer, if it's I'll answer it in 2 ways. Specifically, to get on my radar, 1, the talent has to be evident to me. I'm not so concerned with your sales or your follower base. You have to be talented and you have to be able to afford me. That's how to answer the question as it pertains to me. I'm a for hire independent A&R. I do 12 different things, and you can hire me for all the things. You can hire me for one of the things, whatever. Like a lot of people who just hire me for an individual service, it's typically label and distribution shopping. Full service is where I help you construct your projects, where I handle your A&R administration, where I do the record label distribution shopping, where I'm doing the PR coordination, the marketing coordination, the licensing coordination, your contract reviews, your tour booking and management, like if needed, all the things. That's full service in its entirety. Now, for artists that are looking to get deals, the best thing you can do is build your fan base, your social media base, your organic base. Stay consistent with your content. That's why in a lot of these clinics and a lot of my one-on-one consultations, I recommend having a 7-day program for your social media. So it's like you have a day to promote something new. You have a day to promote something old because it's always new to somebody. You have a day to reflect on like who you are as an artist, who you're trying to become. And you have to incorporate shit about your personal life because people don't want to be sold when they go on social media. That's not why social media was invented. If you're fortunate enough to make money on social media like me, like all day long, but social media was invented to keep, in contact with your loved ones and your friends and family and who you went to school with and that kind of shit. So it's like, I love having social media for the business aspect, the e-commerce aspect of it, but that's far and few for most to actually make money on it. Because when the average person logs on, they're not thinking how they're going to spend their money today. Like I'm someone who shops online. I'm someone that buys product from my favorite artists and shit, but that's not typical. So the goal is to really devise a program and work it. So when labels pull what's either called a hype report or a buzz report, they want you. No one's coming for you just for the talent. They want you because you're talented, yes, but you're working your program. It seems like you have a strong business mind. Yes, being intelligent and knowledgeable about the industry is scary to these people. Because unfortunately, yeah, of course people want to take advantage when they can. That's why I'm fucking super hated. Like I'm the first person to successfully sue Fat Beats. They've been operating for 30 years, and I'm telling you, well, you fucked me on money. How? We don't do that. I'm like, you did, and I'm gonna prove it. They don't want the intelligent. Just like everyone loves gangster rap, but labels don't want to sign any real motherfucking gangsters. You fuck these people over for $1, your kid might end up gone, right? They want the play gangsters, the studio gangsters. So just be genuine, be true to yourself, really work a program Find people to work with you that see your vision. Remember, people hate when you ask for handouts. Figure out how to come to them at least with some level of respect. Like some guy DM me and he's like, "Man, I want to talk to you. I got this business idea for you." And I'm like, my consultations are $500, and he balked for like 3 or 4 days. Then I launched this GoFundMe to call out this guy who had stolen some intellectual property from me and refused to pay me. And I'm like, my fans will back me on this, and they did. They funded like $3,000 that I felt was taken from me like 36 hours. So the guy that didn't want to start out talking to me donated $100 to my campaign. I DM'd him. I said, "That's showing me respect. Give me your number and I will call you and you can run your business program by me." His business plan was nice. Again, he was looking for me just to want to give him like all the shit I had to offer in the world for free. And I said, no. But I said, put together like 10 grand for me and we'll talk then. So now he has if he really thinks that I can help lead him to the promised land, he'll do the necessary work. Everyone wants to work with people who are willing to work. I don't want a part of my team or a part of my crew or a part of my anything that I feel is a liability, that I feel is just riding my coattails on the way to success. But I want to be able to respect you. I want to be able to look you in the eye and know that I'm not talking down to you. You're not talking like feeling like you have to talk up to me, but we can speak to each other as equals and operate accordingly. That's what it's all about to me. And I think a lot of other executives in the game can respect that because no one wants to deal with immaturity. No one wants, like I said, wants the liability. You saw what happened when, like Epic Records had Bobby Schmurder and acted like he was the greatest thing fucking smoking until he got arrested, and they ghosted that motherfucker.
Yeah,
they did not believe in him to the point they wanted to help him beat his case, fund it, and then he got out, and then they're like, "Oh, Bobby, welcome back home," and like, nah, it's not real. I only work in the realm of real.
Big bet. So I know you have the AR clinic. Can you just, give everybody, when is the AR clinic? When can they tune in? And, how does that
The AR
work?
clinic is like a teaching course I do. It's on my Instagram, Almighty M80, every Tuesday, 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which I believe if you're in the Midwest, like Ohio or Indiana, that'd be 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern, right? If you're like Chicago, an hour before that. It's the 1 hour a week. I just give free game. I spend the first 5 or 10 minutes discussing like what I got going on for the week or for the month, and the duration of the time is your business and music questions. We've been doing this for like 5 or 6 plus years now. They originally started on my book and moved over to Instagram where there was just more engagement. And the point was, even with my law degree, I was working a lot of big records and had questions, and ultimately I was right every time. But I had to spend $1,000 in the process talking to lawyers, executives of the like, just for them to confirm, yes, like you're right. This is the opportunity for you at home that might not have access or the financial resources to really know where you should take your career, to be able to talk to someone like me that's been there, done that, and is willing to provide you game for free. But every other hour of the week, I want $500. Not that 1 hour. The 1 hour, be there, motherfuckers. You get me for free.
All right, man. Well, M80, Almighty M80, man, I appreciate you giving me your time today, man. I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate all the
All right,
gang.
guys. I'll talk to you later. And if you need me, Almighty M80 on Instagram, or my phone number is you can't have
it. All right, man. Well, get your wings and your pizza, bro.
I'm going. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace. Be well.
You too.
Recording stopped.
Yo, so once again, that was a great conversation with the Almighty M80. You know what this is, from Hustlers to Headliner, Mr. SOE. And I'll see you next time. Peace.